New on BullMoon Tarot. Fire signs. So this is going to be the messages from fire, from the ambassadors of fire, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And what I mean by messages being from an element, it means it is the energies that are available to everyone from that element. Okay. And this was your popper. That's the Knight of Wands. Also came up in the water message. Okay. Signs for messages for fire signs for the Gemini season. Messages for fire signs for the Gemini season. There we go. One more time. Okay. That's the devil popping out there. And that was also a popper, the Empress. It's the second time she's popped. One more time. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. 7 of Wands jumping out for you. Okay, so that came up in the water message as well. And in both of the previous readings, I had a bunch of poppers as well, or jumpers, whatever you guys call them. And my theory on that is I put them back in, and if they're meant to come out, they'll come out in the main spread. Okay. So one more time, fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius for the Gemini season. Okay, there we go. Your underlying energy, the Two of Swords. That came up for air as well, just not in that position. I'm gonna make sure you can see it. It's a little far away, but okay. You have the Judgment. That actually came up for air signs in that particular position. Okay. We have the Eight of Cups. That also came up for the air message. You have the Knight of Cups, which came up in the water message. You have the Page of Pentacles. The Three of Swords. The Four of Cups. That's come up in every single message so far. The Queen of Cups has also, but in a different position. And we have the King of Cups. So the Queen and King of Cups also came up in the water message. And so the reason why I share those things with you is so that if there's a similar message that resonates with you, you can go look at the other messages. And in addition to that, it also lets me know kind of what the major themes for all of that's consistent with all of the elements for the season of Gemini. Okay. And I felt compelled to pull from the bottom, and I'm going to clarify it with Judgment, and it's the Four of Swords. That was a jumper, actually. So, and that makes sense because I would call the Judgment the major arcana of the Four of Swords. Okay. So we're just going to go down the rows and the columns first, and then I'll... Okay. So, but before I do that, let's go ahead and talk about from this corner to this corner, split it down the middle, diagonally. All of this is the past, and all of this is the future, okay? So this is incoming, outgoing, and down the middle, kind of sort of towards right down the middle, is going to be the present, okay? So in your top row, you have the Two of Swords, you have Judgment, and you have the Eight of Cups. And the Two of Swords talks about indecision, okay? Judgment talks about renewal, but it's not just renewal. It's like karmic lessons learned from from previously. Okay, it's not just death or renewal, it's death and renewal and the lessons that you take with you. Eight of Cups is about emotional fulfillment, going towards your emotional fulfillment and knowing what you're done with and what is not emotionally satisfying for you. The Knight of Cups is known as the dreamer. He's sort of the delusional romantic. But we all need to have dreams, okay? So it's not necessarily a bad energy, okay? In fact, I would say it's really good energy. The Page of Pentacles coming up at the heart of the matter, and that is basically a new, fresh take on something that is of tangible value to you. You have the Three of Swords coming up right here, and that is about heartbreak. And for your bottom row, you have the Four of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. The Four of Cups talks about disappointment and feeling disillusioned by the options that are available to you. The King and the Queen are the masters of their suits. One is a feminine energy, one is a masculine energy. We all have both the divine feminine and the divine masculine within each of us. So in this particular scenario, this may actually be a couple that's coming up right here. Okay, and then the Four of Swords up here with the Judgment card. It's really just kind of the same thing, only this is more lower level, if you will. So this is going to be taking some time out to think about things, some, backing off of certain things and just taking a minute, okay? Okay, now in relation to each other, and this is where it gets interesting, okay? Oh, yeah, I didn't do the columns. So your first column, which would be mostly in the past, is the Two of Swords, which is decisions or indecisions, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Cups. So I'm going to say not feeling satisfied with a particular choice you may have made. Going down the middle row, you've got the Four of Swords, Judgment, the Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. I'm going to say that's being very well seated in who you are and your emotions, and like still waters run deep with you is what the vibe that I'm getting. And you are not afraid to make the decision to chart a new path, like to invest into a new gain, type of material gain. It could be relationships, it could be jobs, it could be money, it could be possessions. It's the earth element, okay? And then in your final column, you have the Eight of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the King of Cups. So the Eight of Cups, as we talked about, is about going to get your ninth cup, which is emotional fulfillment, right? Everything you could ever hope to have emotionally. The Three of Swords is about heartbreak. And the King of Cups, well, like I said, he's the master of his emotions. Still waters run deep with him. He's not easily... he's... what is it? Unflappable? Yeah. Okay. This is definitely showing that you know what you're done with. Okay? And you also have progression. You go from the 2 to the 3 to the 4 of Swords. Okay? Swords are thoughts, beliefs, and ideas. They represent air, okay? I did this with the water message as well. I just picked up the crystal visions to clarify. And I've started with the crystal visions here for you already, so I'll be clarifying from the same deck. I didn't do that for the air message. I just intuitively grabbed the same deck, and as a result of doing that in the water message, some bigger ideas kind of came to the surface, okay? So let's just go ahead and shuffle this again for you. Half of it just fell on the floor. Okay. So I think that indecision is behind you. I think there's some dissatisfaction with whatever that decision was. Maybe it's not as fruitful as you expected it to be. The Wheel of Fortune. Don't worry, hold tight, okay? It's on its way. It's on its way to you. The Wheel of Fortune would not be coming up if that wasn't a significant direction that you took in your life, and for good reason, okay? I'm completely comfortable with that. I like that, and I feel led to set that down and pick up the vice versa deck, okay? Let's look at this heartbreak and this Eight of Cups. So, I mean, I'm definitely feeling some vibes that I'm sure probably make you uncomfortable. And I'd like to see what I can tell you about that. The Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit has come up for everybody and almost exclusively in this upper region of the spread, which would indicate future. So your incoming energy is the Hermit, and that's been true for everybody so far. So there's a good chance you're going to be going within and doing a lot, some self-reflection throughout the Gemini season. So what's up with this King and Queen, this couple of cups? The couple came up in water as well, not in the same positions, but is this, what significance does this have to you that this couple is present? And we do have a jumper, and it is the Page of Pentacles, which you have right here as well. Okay, so that's just kind of, you know what, it's probably a relationship. It's probably a relationship that you went into, or that you're starting, and it's still kind of new. Definitely feeling that. And you're probably worried about some heartbreak. There's some heartbreak going on right here. Some disappointment in the past. A delusional lover, perhaps. Maybe you made one choice over another, and it's still not it's just not working for you yet. So what's going on with that? You're tired, baby. Okay? That's the Ten of Wands. You're ready to set your burdens down. Look, no new relationship is strong enough to handle you dumping all your wands down on top of it, okay? And I want it to be known that that kind of scooted off into the past there when I was trying to clarify this Three of Swords. And so I think what's going on here is at the end of this cycle that you find yourself in, this is a 10, this is a 10, that's a 20, is heavy. It's a little bit heavy. And you want to make sure that you let go of that before moving into this new relationship, because you don't want to unfairly burden the relationship, okay? So I'm going to go one more. Let's talk about this Three of Swords. Three of Swords. What's broken our hearts? Wow, that is the Wheel coming out again in a different deck. Wow. You know, it's probably the end of the cycle, and that is what's making you feel brokenhearted, because with change is often tumultuous. You know, I would normally get a 5 for change, but Three of Swords is knowing, you know, who stuck those swords in your heart. And I'm going to try one more time. Let's see what comes up. That Wheel of Fortune is very significant, though. So whatever is on the horizon for you, it is very good. It's whole. It's a new cycle completely. You're gonna be doing better in all aspects, okay? There's there's the clarifier for the Three of Swords. And it's the Five of Pentacles. And I just mentioned if it was changed, then I would see a 5. And 5 did come out. Also, the Five of Pentacles came up in the air message as well. The Five of Pentacles is about lack. Okay, L-A-C-K, lack, or poverty. It's not having something. You can see he's kind of left out in the cold. There's snow on the ground, and he's at this church in the stained glass window. For the air message, it was actually this side that came up, okay, which is the non-traditional side. Because on this side, he's not sitting outside in the snow anymore. He's come inside and he's in the warmth. He's inside the church. Okay. Yeah, but he's still holding his head in his hands. And so it's still a card of change. And changes are often chaotic and tumultuous and uncomfortable and make us nervous. But change is inherent in the 10, okay? Because a 10 is nothing more than 2 5s, okay? And you got 10, 10, 10, 20 coming up, okay? And this 5. So this broken heart that you're feeling, came up like this, that you're having is about lack. And in the water message, we talked quite a bit about, actually, maybe it was the air message, but we talked a lot about shifting your energy into filling yourself up with joy and self-validation so that there isn't a need for you to experience lack. Because when you're experiencing lack and you're feeling lack, deprived, things that you're being deprived, then you're going to continue to manifest situations where you are deprived. Whereas if you can shift your attitude towards gratitude, you'll begin to start manifesting more and more things to be grateful for, right? Okay. Let's find out what's going on with this Two of Swords back here. What was this indecision? 10 of Cups. Okay, so you got yet another 10, okay? And what's important here also is to notice which ones aren't showing up. So you don't have the 10 of Swords coming up or the 10 of Pentacles, okay? But you've got the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Cups talks about contentment, having absolutely everything, all of it, okay? And this is actually the traditional side of the card. The 9 of Cups is known as the wish card, where you get whatever you wish. So the 9 of Cups is usually the wish fulfillment card. And so the 10 would be getting everything you need and want. It's contentment. It's having it all. Okay. Now this is the reversal of it, and this is the side that came up. And in this particular scenario, I want to say that this is the aftermath of the cycle. Okay, this is the other side of the cycle. You made a decision to end a cycle, or to, I should say, let a cycle end, which was absolutely necessary, given that you've got the wheel coming up twice, the wheel clarifying the wheel, especially with that 10 of Wands right beside it. I started shuffling again, and now you've got the Sun, okay? The Sun, this is I just got goosebumps. You're gonna get whatever you need. Whatever you are worried about, you do not need to be worried, honey. You've got good something on the horizon. probably coming in June, actually. You're going to have to go within a little bit, fire signs, and reflect and try to shift some of your energy towards filling yourself up with self-love, right? And I don't mean that in a pompous way, like, oh, I'm so hot, you know, or whatever. What I mean is doing the simple things that reinforce the idea that you love yourself. That is to say, making your bed when you get up in the morning, because when you come home at night, well, nobody's been, well, some, but not, okay, whatever, terrible example. Making your bed because you know you want to come back to a made bed, right? Or washing the dishes because you enjoy the fact that the sink is clean. It's something as simple as pulling out a fresh, you know, freshly dried, smelling good towel for you to towel off with after your shower. It's the little tiny things like that that just reinforce that nurturing part of yourself directed towards yourself, okay? Instead of it being so directed towards others, because you really want to fill yourself up with self-love so that you can attract somebody who mirrors what you're doing, which is manifesting love instead of lack. Okay, let's go ahead and get you guys a postcard from Spirit. Okay, postcard from Spirit for my fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, in this Gemini season. What else does Spirit want you to know? Two. Okay. All right. Okay. Dear you, now is one of those times you are being asked to add some distance. Take a step back and do nothing but observe. Don't worry about how long it'll take to regroup. Just know it's temporary and actually an opportunity to take a breath, slow down, and look at how far you've come. That decisions for the highest good are made when we have clarity, which comes from being open to information from both the intellect and the intuition. When you step into the role of observer, it's as if you turn on a switch that allows your soul to be an essential part of the information gathering and decision making process. In this way, you can approach things from a more neutral and non-judgmental place. We know you'll make the right choice. Trust us when we say now is not the time to get too close to the fray. Step back now, you'll be glad you did. Love you. And then you have, dear you, oh my, things are stirred up and change is upon you. That says that right here with all these wheels and the lack right here. No, this is a cause for celebration. No need to be nervous. But know that it's okay to be afraid when faced with the uncertainties of life. The funny thing is that courage doesn't get mustered in the absence of fear, rather in spite of it, or even because of it. Step into the unknown now. Let go of the branch you are clinging to, and let Spirit take the wheel and help steer you to your highest good and most wonderful adventure. All you need to concern yourself with is choosing courage as your ally. Leave the rest up to us. There's a load of miracles being shipped your way. Remember what philosopher Joseph Campbell said? Take one step towards the gods, and they will take 10 towards you. We're all doing the Destiny Cha-Cha on your behalf. That's right. Don't be afraid to dance. Loving you always. Pretty solid message there, guys. Just hang tight. I know it feels a little turbulent right now, but you have experience at comforting and soothing yourself and being grounded even in your emotions. even when things are turbulent. The king and queen over here kind of tells us that, okay? It's going to be time to go in for a little bit, sort of be self-reflective, but you're going to come out the other side with some good fortune, okay? Good things are on the horizon for you guys. All right, fire signs, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.